Okay, so in the previous video we talked about some of the issues that arise when Grand Theft Auto 5 tries to tell a story through its characters, and when the game tries to develop who those characters are in quite a kind of direct way, but what happens when the player takes control of that character and how some inconsistencies can arise. So I'll give you a few examples of that now. So I'll switch over to Michael now. So Michael was he's sort of the main protagonist of the game, really. And in that prologue, we learn a few things about Michael as a character. We learn that he doesn't shoot hostages, so he doesn't shoot civilians. And we learn that even when a guard has a gun to his head, he is upset when that guard is killed. So we learn that he's a bank robber, but a bank robber with a conscience. So he's got certain morals. So here we are now. We sort of jumped into the role of Michael in his family home. He's got a son and a daughter. And again, this is something that we learn about Michael. That's his wife coming into the house. So we learn about all these things playing the role of Michael. But the problem is now I'm in control of him. So my identity as the gamer starts to take hold. So, for example, it's sort of a case of home sweet home. Ooh. But I can do something like this, right? Which is just extremely inconsistent with what the character would do. And he's just been playing video games with his son upstairs. His wife just comes in into the house. It's unlikely that he would plant a remotely detonated explosive device and blow himself up. So what I want to do as a gamer clashes with what Michael would do as a character. And one of the other things is that we learn that Michael doesn't just shoot innocent people, right? He's got that conscience, he's got a sense of right and wrong. And we could call him a kind of chaotic neutral character. So he's still a bank robber, he's still kind of against society, but he has a certain code that he lives by. But as a player, I don't have that code, I don't share it. So I might just do something like this, which is wildly inconsistent with what the character would do, but now I'm in control. So this is no longer the character, it's sort of me. So it's as if I've possessed him and he's no longer doing things that he would want to do. So this is something that I found particularly noticeable in Grand Theft Auto 5, more so than in the other games in the series, because so much emphasis and so much attention is put on the characters. So I'll just sort of reset. And I'll give you one more example of this before moving on. So now I'm going to switch to Franklin. So he's the African American character in the game, and we learn a lot about his life growing up basically in the kind of sort of the hood, I guess, inspired by GTA San Andreas. Oh, it's just taking its time finding where he is. Okay, here we are. So he's just come out of the strippers, I guess. Again, I sort of find him halfway through his life, but now I've possessed him, so now I'm not even really Franklin, I'm just me possessing his body. And I would say that Franklin is the closest to a sort of chaotic good character in the game. He's fairly benevolent, he's got a pet dog, which the game sort of stresses to soften Franklin, to humanize him. Whereas Trevor, the kind of hillbilly, crazy psychopath, is more likely to kill animals. So here I am as Franklin, but again, I can do things that are uncharacteristic for what Franklin would do. So, weapon of choice. I doubt that Franklin would do that, right? And then when I get into this car, another thing we learn about Franklin is that he likes hip-hop. He sort of grows up in that kind of environment, but now I'm in control. So I choose what I want to listen to, which happens to be a bit of Black Sabbath. So again, it's as though Franklin has been possessed, and my identity as the gamer takes hold, and it starts to create these kind of conflicts with what the game is trying to tell me about the character and what I'm experiencing as I embody the character. And I think this tension is something that constantly pulled me out of the game. It pulled me out of the story, just because the story it was trying to tell never seemed to fit with what I was doing as a gamer. And this is an issue I think that's really strong with sandbox open world kind of games, that it's very difficult for the creator to rein in the player and control the story. So you get these kind of crazy situations. So there you go. That's one of the issues that you might encounter trying to make an open world game that's character driven. And that'll do it. Thank you for listening.